Greetings, friends. So, welcome to the Monday, February 28th edition of Howard Stern Show tonight. Tonight, I am joined by Mr. Whiskers, aka
Aloha.
Xavier, Dennis, Jackie Chair, and Dandy Ick, which is John. And so today's show was a little bit on the weird side.
There was no continuity at all about
No.
any of his thoughts in those darting-eyed head. Nothing.
Beth's lowly assistant wound up sending me two additional clips that I was able to use, which were apparently it was having a ton of technical issues today. So we were able to highlight out two of those technical issues, which I otherwise would have just fast forwarded through. He had Bob Odenkirk on today, who, although I love Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad, tends to be a lackluster.
That's an understatement. He's a narcissistic bore.
You got to understand, he doesn't know who he is.
Yes, he does.
No.
Howard doesn't know
Yeah.
who Odenkirk is.
Oh, okay.
The first time he's ever been on the show was I'm not even 10 months ago.
10
So
months
you
ago,
think
yeah,
this
less
show,
than a
well,
year.
he was just on. Well, he kind of was, but the show has so few guests and so few shows that a guest like that, it seems like he was on 2 weeks ago because there's so few people that you're going over through 1 year, whereas
Yeah,
like
it's
a regular
amazing.
talk show has on 3 guests a night.
I listened to the interview that he did on, which has become one of my absolute favorite podcasts, called Stateless, with Jason Bateman. He was talking about, so he had this movie called Nothing, where he's thanking Howard for actually for the success of it. Meanwhile, he didn't come in until like 5 days after the show had debuted.
Yeah.
And
You mean nobody?
yeah, and then Howard
Nobody.
just continued talking about the success of it, and just went back to Nobody as if he had never seen it. And so when he was on Stateless, he really went into depth about the home invasions that he had. He had 2 home invasions at his home in LA, and his family was scared shitless. And he wasn't a gun owner, and his home was robbed. They kind of hurt his wife at one point. The kids were scared. And he said, all I could wish was that, they would be dead, and, and that I could kill them. And it was really, really a deep, really insightful, thoughtful conversation about the fear of home invasion and how he was able to use Nothing as an outlet to get a lot of that angst out of his system.
Right.
Fun movie.
Howard just
So
glazed right up,
So-
could not give a shit.
that's
I
what
think
happens.
it's because he just doesn't want to bring up his own house. I think
what-
that's his biggest fear in his entire life.
Oh,
is
absolutely.
That
Good
we'll just
point.
scorn
Good point.
all us angry fans. Someone's going to go over the edge. Didn't Stuttering John have a fan, Monique, that stormed the Bastille and Beth saw him? No, seriously. He actually went on the
Right, I
yard
think
and
you're
started
right.
holding up a sign, and he got arrested, brought
Yes.
to Nassau County lockup in Mineola, I believe. And I don't. It was quashed. I think John would know certainly the whole thing.
Are you sure it wasn't a creditor trying to get their money back?
Exactly.
It was Brian Von Holt doing John Cusack to Beth in the balcony.
Melvin says, what do you think Wiggy could do a multi-part deep dive on Colton Underwood? Absolutely.
Oh, my
he
God,
would
remember that
sooner
guy?
do that. Yeah, and he's always so proud of himself when he's like read a book, because
Yeah.
he gives the whole book away. He gives like every story, every detail, everything about the book, the movie, whatever it is. And I guess Bob wrote a book about how he's both a comedian and a drama guy,
Dramatic
or some
actor.
shit like
No,
this.
oh my God, yes. He goes back to like the 80s with SNL. He did all that Chicago improv stuff too.
Oh yeah,
He goes back a
Odenkirk,
long way, man.
Do you guys have a vague memory? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I'm too nerd. Odenkirk slammed Howard for stealing from Steve Dahl.
What?
Yeah, he's a Chicago.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Odenkirk,
I wouldn't doubt
Odenkirk
it.
has never been on this show until last year, and
Right.
up until I remember, he had something. I feel like it was something with Bill Maher, where Maher was on the outs with Howard, and Odenkirk's like, "Oh, he stole his whole act from Steve Dahl in Chicago." I swear
Really?
to God,
Okay,
I
let's
can't
find that.
remember. I can't
Anybody
remember.
in the chat, if they remember this, we would love to hear that. So yeah, I would definitely love to know what you're talking about. So we are going to. I'm trying to do shorter preambles because all you giant douchebags out there never really like to hear us talk about our incredibly more exciting lives than Howard's, and
shit.
would much rather hear about what he's doing in his life. So when
Tiger Lily.
Where's Tiger
Well,
Lily?
Tiger Lily was
She was AWOL on Wednesday. We all missed her. We
Tiger
talked
Lily
about
was
it the whole
asking
show.
why everybody was saying that Bob Odenkirk was coming off as arrogant, because he was.
Was
Because
he?
the way Howard was framing the questions and moving the conversation, he could only sound arrogant. They were name dropping. It was horrid.
Now I didn't listen to the interview yet, but 79 IQ, you guys, he doesn't. There's no way he watches Better Call Saul. It's
Oh
way
no,
too
no, he
high-
has no idea.
Way
what that
too
Never in a million
highbrow.
years.
Way
he has
too
no idea.
highbrow.
No,
for
no,
him.
Agreed.
No, he has no idea. Not a clue. It was SNL, SNL, SNL.
Yeah, the thing
SNL,
was, why is he so?
SNL.
He was a writer, for Christ's sake.
And Jovial, just
Vincent.
interjecting for a moment, just want to give a shout out to Katie Aldana, who left a nice comment on the Quarantine Part 2 episode, saying she had knee surgery and the video cheered her up. Hope she is feeling okay. So I had a thought about the whole Saturday Night Live thing, and maybe I'll just go to that clip. Listen to this clip for a second.
You said the place looked like an insurance company.
This is Bob Odenkirk talking about SNL's offices and studio.
Yeah.
And it's all very true. I mean, every building in Midtown Manhattan is like that, you know, and they all just look like, you know, an accountant should be working in there. But okay, hang on.
Yeah. And you're so right. When I worked at NBC, there was nothing more life-sucking out of me. In terms of, I'd be there for hours writing my show, doing funny bits.
He says, there I am sitting there writing my show and writing my bits. And I feel like he really thinks that he could have been an integral part of SNL, like back in the day. Like he talks about how he, you know, that's his show. He wrote the show. He wrote bits. He, you know, he was a struggling writer. He was a struggling comedian. Like he feels like for some bizarre reason he can associate with these SNL dudes who would work till 4 o'clock in the morning or do what they do. And I think
He's
that
that
he feels
delusional,
like
yes.
Well,
I
no,
know he is that delusional.
This is how that happened,
you
though.
think that he thinks that they could have done a weekend update with Mama Luca Dubube, whatever her name was?
Mama Luca
this
Bubude?
is- but this
Mama
is-
Luca Bubude, yeah.
Yeah.
This is when
That's
you
what
know,
he was thinking.
Go, Dan.
This is when you know the king has you know the king doesn't the king doesn't have clothes. I can't think of also.
Emperor's
The Emperor has no
The
clothes?
Emperor has new clothes. That is Howard right now because now he's been so fed BS by his staff about you know and then himself and his shrink. Everybody around him just tells him how great he is because he pays them. He now changes history way back when. That now he was this fabulous writer for that show on WNBC.
Right.
Easy.
NBC, which really he didn't do most of the writing. Other people did the writing for that
Fred
show.
and Jackie, right?
And
Total
what's his name? The other guy
revisionist
that left.
history.
No,
Yeah.
thank you, Dorian Morgan. Here's the thing. He's been offered, when he did the Weekend Update thing with Norm MacDonald, he was offered to host it. I believe he got offered. There's been much lesser people that
He
have.
wanted to
He's
do
too
the whole
lazy.
thing.
Right, but he wanted to bring his own writers, but he was too afraid. We know the real reason. It's aesthetics. It's hair. It's vanity. They'd have to, Tony couldn't fuck with it. They'd have their people effing with his vanity. That's
Right,
what he
he'd have
really
to wear
can't do.
wigs. He'd
That's
have to
exactly
wear
right.
prosthetics.
The
He'd-
hair secret would be out.
Well, no,
Everything
but then
had
the
to
other-
be what he likes. Right.
But then he would also have to be funny, and by himself, without Jackie, without.
But that's
without
why he
Fred.
wanted to bring his own writers. He
Right,
was
but-
afraid that whatever
exactly,
they
this-
wrote for him wouldn't be his funny.
Or
That's
they would ask
fine.
him,
You have to
or they
step
ask
out of your
him.
comfort zone. That's the whole point of the show.
That's the whole point.
He's
Yes, right.
incapable. He's incapable of
To
that.
juxtapose this person, and you're lucky they even asked you. They know how limited he is physically. 6'7". You can't fuck. You can't. You could. How many sketches could you possibly even use him for? 2, 3
Right.
maximum.
Maximum. And everything else would be a vehicle to make fun of him physically, for sure.
Yep, that's right.
Oh, absolutely.
That's
And
And
really
he
what it
could
is.
That's a good
never,
point.
ever deal with that.
No,
ever.
No, his skin's so.
The
thin,
other
you
thing
know.
too, and I'm sure he's going to Oden. He does this to everybody that's on the show, every SNL person. And Odenkirk was never a cast member, by the way. Let's just
No,
get this
he's a
up
writer.
front.
He's
He was
a
a
writer.
writer. He never even was featured. He was like in him and Conan O'Brien, I think. once
Actually,
were in
he
a
said that he
background
was
sketch.
actually in a sketch. Right. He
You
was
think-
in
What
like a
sketch?
famous Farley sketch.
See, he's saying to this guy, he's going, "Oh, Bob, you got so screwed." Yeah, Dana Carvey was on, Phil Hartman was on. You're not gonna get on. They dominated that show. They were phenomenal. Everything they touched turned to gold. You're not gonna get on with them. You shouldn't be on. You're not nearly as talented.
He left in like '87, so it's not like, I was like, that was like.
It's such a stupid conversation. It's just so dumb.
But
it's all about the vanity.
Going back to Howard, totally reinventing his whole history. That now he thinks that WNBC, where he got fired after 3 years, and he's talking about it like he was there like 6 months ago.
Thank you, Dennis.
It's 40 years.
Dennis, thank you. You stole my thunder. I can't believe you said that, because I was going to ask Monique this, and this goes for all of you. And I'm in middle school, whatever. But could you imagine the look on someone's face if you were bitching today about a job you had in 1984, 85. I'm just trying to translate the civilian talk here. They would look at you. Are you complaining about the paper route you had in 1980 or whatever?
Yes,
you had like a real job.
Yes.
Could you imagine complaining to someone about a job you had in 1985 today?
Yes.
He's still talking about his mom taking his temperature, and he's a 70-year-old man.
But I mean, and the thing is, though, he's never described the WNBC building the way Odenkirk did in his entire description. That's never been used by him ever. It was good for creativity. That was never said. It was never uttered. It is so amazing how he just tries to fit in with these people, so he fits in.
Wasn't he allowed to? Dennis, you listened to him on NBC more than I did. Yeah. You were a fan before I was. What was he not allowed to do? Explain to me what exactly he wasn't allowed to do.
He had to play. He had to play music. That was one thing. He did have to have music. All right, that was the one thing.
News, weather.
Yeah, news, weather,
traffic.
Music, traffic.
He was a DJ.
Yeah, he was.
He was a regular disc jockey.
The skits had to be shorter, and they couldn't be too
provocative.
Yeah. I mean, but it's
you know what? We should really do that one day. We should get like
the
a
NBC
full
shows.
NBC show.
I have a feeling Monique, he wasn't censored. I have a feeling he was able to do whatever the hell he wanted.
No.
They just said. I think he's completely exaggerating the censorship.
100%
No, it wasn't censored.
It
was just a format that he just couldn't be just freeform by.
Well, and think about it. He's a 20-something making six figures. They're supposed to redo their entire program for him. You know, when everybody else is doing that same thing, and they've been doing it for decades. It's like, sure, Howard, we'll just our whole program. And in hindsight, he's probably right. But they're just not going to retool their whole fucking system and infrastructure for him.
Well, it became kind of obvious that the revisionist thing was well on his way back in the late 90s when they used to do a drop from Private Parts that you're like the motherfucking Antichrist or something like that.
Yeah.
And at first it was just played like it's just a drop from the movie, but as the years progressed, he started acting like that was an actual thing the real Pig Vomit said. You know? like he forgot, you could see him slowly detach from reality, so the reality that they created for him in Private Parts was the actual reality, rather than it was just an embellished movie.
Look at Dennis DeMiller weighing in. He goes, Howard's travails through the low end of the economic scale are more farcical than his daughter's endeavors in Shabbat school, for Pete's sake.
I'm sure there's some people on here who don't realize the Dennis Miller-ism
I know, it's a new character.
Dennis Miller. It's phenomenal. Like he gets the wording and the elocution right, and the usage of completely inappropriately long
obscure
words
references
obscure
70s.
References and it's just classic.
And then it's exactly what he would write in his old HBO show. It's exactly what he would do.
All right, so let's get started on our show, and let's see. Let's look into the crystal ball and see what we should start with today. Okay. Well, let's start with what was so important today. It was very important that he start the entire show with calling Betty White the C word. And I'm not understanding why this was such a big thing until I realized that there was a song associated with it. So naturally, there had to be. And let's count how many times they say the C word. I'm pretty sure that Bon Jovial is going to go insane trying to edit this show after it's done.
Monique,
today.
one last thing before you go to that. Did you
Yeah.
get the picture I sent you about the podcast you got?
I have it. I have
okay,
it. I have
good,
it.
good.
Okay,
He wouldn't say what it was, which is bizarre in itself, but go.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so hang on, let me share screen and I can actually put that on right this second and then we could talk about it, okay? So
Never brings it up.
Hang on, my friends. Hang on, my friends. Okay, and we'll come to it in big in a moment. All right, here we go.
Look at the second name.
Now, hang on. Let's go to it.
Okay.
We'll come back to it.
Hanging on.
I don't want to start the show without commenting on one of the most horrible, atrocious, never want to speak about stories in the news, but I have to because it's such a horror that the truth came out. Betty White, they're saying, was a cunt when she was alive. Did you read this? Yes.
No.
Yes.
I didn't see Betty White was a cunt as a big headline.
Yeah. I mean, there's a
Wouldn't that
war
have been
going
great
on.
if the Post had that?
There's your feminist,
The
Dr.
headline.
Sarah.
Wow.
Well, now that she's dead, the truth is out. Betty White was a cunt. A man named Joel Thurm.
Okay, so I guess that relates to what you have right here, right?
Yeah, this is him on this guy. So this host, his name is Andrew Goldman. I was trying to figure out what the hell his connection is to Howard. I don't know if Chris Wilding heard this and sent it to him, but this guy used to be a columnist in the New York Times, so I assume maybe Howard might listen to this.
He wasn't really a big Times guy, but okay.
He was an entertainment columnist. I looked up his.
Well,
Go ahead now.
Those 70 people have to be doing something. They're probably
that's true.
shouting.
That's
at
right.
the
That's right.
Podcast,
That's right.
So.
That's true. You're exactly right. So, okay, so what are we looking at here? Through absolutely no fault of the episode's guest, Andrew shares 3 interviews that now sound a little odd, a little untimely, maybe, and a little creepy, owing to the fact that they were all recorded before the deaths of Betty White, Norm MacDonald, and Helena Hutchins, the cinematographer killed after the accidental discharge of Alec Baldwin's prop gun on the Indy Western Rust. First up, Joel Thurm, author of the upcoming memoir Sex, Drugs, and Pilot Season, Confessions of a Casting Director, shares his memories of working at NBC on The Golden Girls and reveals how Betty White's fellow castmates really felt about the comedy legend, who died in January 1999. Next, legendary Hollywood producer, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, The Untouchables, Art Linson remembers his near-death experience producing 1997's The Edge with a very grumpy and bearded Alec Baldwin. Finally, actor and writer Fred Stoller shares tales of bullying, petty theft, and tennis involving his mostly friend, the late Norm MacDonald. Mentioned and recommended Joel Thumb's Sex and Drugs Pilot Season. Okay, so
He gets this. How do we think he gets this? Is this Wilding? Is this it's Betty White is somehow on his right? So Alec Baldwin's the second guy, and that's the huge thing. We get out of it as Betty White. We don't get Alec Baldwin out of that. Right?
No,
We're not
no,
going to
of
bring
course
that
not.
up.
No,
So now that's
no,
not good.
no.
We listened to this, but Alec's not going to get mentioned.
no.
Hey, Mo, look what I just shared.
Okay.
I just want to kind of. Okay,
Oh,
so she
wow.
Oh my God!
Can you blow this up a little bit?
Yes,
absolutely.
that was one of my.
Command plus sign?
Okay, say when.
Go ahead, go for it. Command plus. There you go.
Good thing they.
Beautiful.
Well, that's
Good.
one C
Good
using
remark.
another, I guess.
That's good. So overwhelmed and blown away by your kindness and generosity for all the online donations to Beth's Furry Friends Foundation in honor of Betty White. So many lives will continue to be
This is
saved.
literally a couple of weeks ago.
It
Yes.
was. Yes.
Yes.
And the
So, you
Can you
audacity.
believe that?
Yes, of course I believe
And this
that.
is like after she went out and say, "Hey, in honor of Betty White, send me money."
Exactly. Well, apparently Betty White said send money to your favorite charity in
Yeah,
her
but
honor.
Yeah.
you know that. Old horse there got on that and went,
Oh
yeah.
my God! It's
Well,
like
when-
I need new shoes.
And then to do this,
And
to
teeth
she left. She left
to
skid
F her
marks
corpse
on the
today.
carpet.
What?
She left skid marks on the carpet. She couldn't get to her phone quick enough.
Yeah, let's continue with Betty White just for a snurch of a second. Hold on.
Money.
There it is, Robin.
Wow.
The secret to living a long life is being a cunt.
Then I'm probably I'm gonna live forever.
100%. That is why they did this.
Yeah,
You're
so
not
that's
getting
a-
the edge back from the 90s. Stop. It's so
Exactly.
horrible. It's so forced.
so-
We're not blown away. We're not shocked.
Dude.
Shut up. He's a horrible hack. It's so bad. Effing her dead corpse. How could you imagine being a billionaire and asking and grifting on Instagram for money from civilians? Could you imagine being that rich, guys, and asking for money, having your hand out? That is a special kind of sociopath with no self-awareness.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
But the fact that you would say, okay, Betty White is a C word, and all
I know,
of that
I know.
just to put that song up. Like, obviously and how much work did it take to put that song in? I mean, really.
I know. The overproduction of it all. By the way,
so
Sarah of
Yes.
the Depening fame, who's a Golden Girls expert, says
Oh, Sarah
that
from the
story's
Depening fame.
bullshit.
What's the Depening?
We'll get to that throughout. It's a... Sarah says that Betty
Sarah
White...
says.
This is conflated. It's B. Arthur that was the C word throughout, and Betty White was beloved on the set. B. Arthur was difficult and artistic, and Betty White went into the audience and had fun. It was actually B. Arthur who that is. It's total bullshit.
See what David said? B. Arthur would get frustrated with Betty because she would play to the
Yes.
audience in bloopers, and B. wanted to maintain the third
Exactly.
wall. But other than that, I've never heard a crossword about her.
heard
Well,
Well,
either have I.
I heard she also maintained the third input. Oh,
So they're using this as a conflated fake story. There's no truth to it at all. And
Yeah.
just to write this horrible, awful, hacky, stupid song that has no edge to it at all. Kill
horrible
yourself.
song too.
Horrible
Of course,
song.
as usual, the people that can refute it are dead.
Yep,
So,
yep.
Yeah.
Argue
of
with
course,
exactly
that's just
right,
the way
Dennis.
that's just the way it is. I mean, but I think I stated toward the end of the show. Look, he was out of his mind this morning. Say this never happened because he was out of his mind.
But isn't that kind of like his shtick? Like when
Yeah, it is
Raymond
now.
Burr died, he immediately, Raymond Burr was like, it's
Yeah.
like whenever these like old golden age of cinema types die,
Yep.
all of a sudden Howard grows a new set of balls.
Yeah.
And he goes after them. Like, you mean Raymond Burr, for fuck's sake? Come on. You didn't have the balls to call your bullshit while he was still alive?
No,
I mean, it's always the
he
same
never
thing.
Does. Never does.
Wait till Shatner dies. It's going to be like,
my
I
God.
got all these stories on Shatner, Robin.
Are they gonna keep replaying my wife is at the bottom of the
Oh,
pool?
Larry Sanders.
Exactly.
No, that was Shatner.
Exactly.
I thought you were doing
No,
it sounded like
it was his phone call to 911. My wife is at the bottom of the pool.
The pool.
The pool.
So let's
Yay.
continue with the beginning of the show and him talking about. Let's go with technical difficulties, which will lead into some technical difficulties.
I think
at some point
Shatner's going to
later.
outlive George Takei. Have you
It's
seen
going to
them
be a
both
very
lately?
challenging show today. I have tremendous technical problems I've been trying to work out all morning, but yeah, it's going to be really hard. Yeah.
Thank you for being a
Ugh.
Wow.
There you go. All right.
All right.
Damn, that makes
Big
me
build up
Whiskers
to that.
seem like
Yeah,
frickin',
apparently he couldn't
John
get that
Williams.
to play while he was doing the Betty White thing.
Wow.
And worst part is the host who gets $4,000 a minute didn't write the song and didn't sing it. And
No,
it's
but
that bad.
you know what? They do a great show, and he
Yeah.
even says so himself because
Yep.
he
Yes,
he
he did.
apparently
We got
was
that
in the
clip?
car all weekend and decided, "Fuck, I listen to the show all the time. We do a great show."
Hey. I was in my car a lot this weekend, and I got to hear
Say
some
limo.
of our show, and
His
we're very
limo.
entertaining. I approve of this show. I think it's a good show.
You like the show? You would listen?
I like the show. Yeah, you were good. I was great.
I was just good.
No, you were great. I mean, it was really a nice repartee between the two of us and various bits and discussions. Excellent show. I couldn't turn it off, actually.
Yeah, beautiful show.
Right.
We do a wonderful
He's-
fucking show.
First of all, he's in a limo.
yes,
Fuck you for saying
exactly.
you're in a car.
So he's getting toted around Palm Beach in a limo. Let's
Yeah,
think of that for a second.
Exactly.
Nobody uses limos in Palm Beach.
Well,
Seriously.
it's probably like a
Nobody.
Suburban or something like that.
But even so, they
Even so,
Yeah.
you know
I'm
what?
saying.
People, right? So true, Dennis. People in Florida, like wealthy people in Florida,
drive their own
love to
Bentley.
drive their wealthy car. Like
They
they
drive their
love
Bentley
to
Oh,
drive
absolutely.
their Bentley
100%.
convertible or their Rolls Royce. I mean, they love it. You know, that's why they're there.
You're in
to put the
Florida,
top
that's
down?
What you do. You just
Dude,
drive the car. Him? No, he has to be in his prom limo, getting tooted around. The only one in a
Exactly.
prom limo.
I wonder if he still has that down in
it's,
Florida too.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. Oh my god.
Hilarious.
I live in California and I've seen one Bugatti. I was in Florida for like about 12 months and I saw like 100.
Oh, I could see 6 just at the Publix
Yeah,
down the road
exactly.
over here. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
And the funny thing, I think both of them were flow riders. So somehow he drove to California in that.
But holy mother effing get over yourself. Who's even looking for you? You guys know
No
this.
one.
Right? Is anybody, isn't that rarefied air over there and they're all super wealthy? Who's going to bother him? You can't
Nobody.
get in your car. He's so
He's on
innate,
Billionaire Road.
feeble. It's unbelievable. I know.
He's
Nobody gives a
behind
shit.
You can't
6 foot,
even-
7 foot tall hedgerows.
He's new money. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Even
The only thing that makes him stand out from anybody else is his height. Period. End of
His
story.
know.
wig.
And a wig.
And wig.
Yeah.
And a wig.
But like I was talking about Snoop Dogg today to Xavier, and about how, he's a tremendously tall guy. He's rapper, he's famous, he's an
right.
artist. He has no problem, walking around the city streets. None whatsoever.
No, because
And,
he's not an
yeah.
awkward human being.
he's far more famous than Howard is. He's really big. He's had a great career. He's been famous for a really long time. He's been in
Right?
tons of stuff, TV
Yep.
shows, movies. Way more successful than Howard in terms of multimedia. He's the king
Yes.
of all media. And
Yes.
he could care less. He's playing football. He's playing touch football on the street. You're so right, Monique. No one's looking for you. He's bringing attention to himself. It was an Opie said. Opie evolved had a great line. It's serious. Like Howard's known. He's like, let me tell you, no one's looking for him in the hallways.
Nobody.
He's bringing this on. He's got 4 security guards. No one's bothering him. No one's stopping him.
Exactly.
Kittens and arrows.
Look at that Miller. That's a perfect Miller face. He had one up here. He goes, Beth's furry friends financials, and we're transparent than Zion Williamson's intermittently fasting at Golden Corral during a 3-for-1 special. For Christ's sake. God damn it! I love a Golden Corral reference. Remember we tweeted Tim Sabian to take us to Golden Corral. Well, I don't know.
Okay, so I'm going to continue
Has
on a
Snoop
little
ever
bit.
done the Stern Show? Just out of
Yeah,
curiosity.
I think so. Oh, don't you remember?
Snoop's on
I don't.
once a
I don't.
year.
I don't. I
Snoop
really don't.
and what's his
His
face
uncle.
were on in L.A. What's his name? Who I can't stand.
It was like 2 years ago. Oh,
Everybody?
the crash guy?
Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen.
Oh yeah, Snoop's
gotcha.
been on for years.
Gotcha.
Snoop's on all the time.
Yeah.
Snoop was on. Remember his uncle was like a pimp, and he brought him
That's right.
on.
Oh my God,
somewhere
that's
in the-
right.
I forget his name.
Good God, yeah.
Jesus Christ. All right, so let's continue on. I thought this was a really ridiculous thing here. Hold on a second.
By the way,
All right,
Snoop
here we
has
are.
a song called 21 Jump Street, which I have got to find and master. It's bothering the hell out of me. I don't know it by heart.
Bow wow wow yippee yo yippee yay.
Okay, here we go.
My wife and I came up with a new TV show we want to see. Someone's got to produce it because we're too lazy to do it. But
Slut caves.
it's called Fathers Alone with Their Children.
Oh, because that hasn't been done before. So let's think. 3 Men and a Baby,
The
Full
Hangover.
House,
The Hangover 2. The Hangover 3.
Different Strokes.
Different strokes, yeah.
Yeah, listen how disgusted he was about what
Make
was
room-
going on in the
make
street.
room for
Listen to
daddy.
The
this.
beginning of the Brady's.
Exactly.
You know, mothers pretty much in traditional families, you see, like the mom's usually in charge of the kids, but every once in a while, dad.
And could you imagine him and Beth producing something together?
Wasn't that
No.
I
called,
can almost see that happening,
Yeah.
like in the
It
near
would be
future.
Prey Mantis.
wasn't that called the courtship of 80s fodder?
Oh my God, Monique, I'm sorry. Fudsicle is a great line. David Spade had a great quote about limos. He goes, I think it's part of his act. He goes, every time I see a limo, I think, oh, you have $80. I guess that's the rate you could rent a limo out for an hour. or
Yeah,
something.
hello. Well, welcome to the age of Uber. It costs you $80 just to get from uptown to downtown.
Yeah, that's a great
All right,
reference,
let me finish this.
The show's. Yeah.
You know, mom's had it, and the dad will go out with a stroller.
Dad
We
has
were
to
taking-
take over, yeah.
Dad takes over, and so we're walking, and we're watching some guy. He's got the stroller. He's got the baby in the stroller, and
So now we're in Florida. Just remember, okay?
Yeah.
That's where we are.
he gave the kid like a metal spoon, like a full-size metal soup spoon, you know? And the baby has it, and the baby keeps throwing it down on the ground. And this ground where we walk is like it's covered in dog shit. You know, like it's a place where people walk. It's a little
Right,
thin
and it's
sidewalk.
Like real walking, not like side street where nobody can see you in the
Right.
Hamptons walking.
Right, yeah.
Because right outside his front door is the main road.
Yes.
So, yeah, okay.
But he's
Wait,
not
the
walking on
suspense
that.
is
Anything
killing
could
me.
be happening.
Filthy. Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, people are walking on it. Dogs are walking on it. Cats.
Birds
you
are
name
crashing
it.
on it.
Cats.
You have worms.
happening.
Oh, how dare
So
someone
every
else
time
use
the metal
the...
spoon goes, every time the baby throws a metal spoon, he picks it up and gives it back to the baby. And I go, can you imagine if the mom knew that? First of all, this spoon is so big the baby could probably choke on it.
No, that's the reason it's big, so the baby can't choke on it, you fucking moron.
Secondly,
Wow.
he keeps picking it up. Doesn't even do the sort
Doesn't
of-
even wipe it a little
Comedy
bit.
gold.
Yeah, nothing. He just gives it right back to the baby, and he kind of goes, "You should keep this spoon." I could hear him talking to the baby.
So
What,
this,
what rich neighbor did he steal this story from?
Well,
Yeah,
Who
that's
actually, who actually observed
wasn't
this?
it originally called Family Affair with Mr. French and Buffy?
Oh, by the way, it's Don Magic Wand is the name of Snoop's.
Yeah.
Thank you, Slow Death 718.
on magic
Magic
wand.
wand. Yep.
I'm going to have a guy named Mr. French in this, Robin.
So yeah, okay. So I thought that was amazing, and that led into a whole conversation about people with their kids. And then he started talking about going on a trip to Mexico, and it was a very fancy resort. And when he was there, he saw Les Moonves with Julie Chen Moonves, who had
Yeah,
just had a baby, and how he was very cordial with Les, even though they had had their ups and downs, and that Julie left to go do something upstairs, and Les played with the baby for maybe like 2 minutes, 30 seconds, he said, and then passed it off to the nanny.
So this is an Aniston trip. This is the Aniston. This is one of the Aniston trips.
No, this is a whole. I think this
No,
is
it
a
is.
whole.
It's because he was saying Jimmy Kimmel arranged a
Then
trip.
he went. Oh, right. So then he goes into this whole conversation. Well, first off, let's talk
I think
about
it's the same trip.
Well, let's talk about the
About
the
Les
Mexican
Moonves.
woman giving massages on the
Oh,
beach.
yes.
Because I thought that was pretty fantastical, and then we'll get into how he couldn't possibly stay at the house. So here we go. Hang on.
I like to watch really spoiled kids get their feet massaged by a little Mexican lady,
Little.
and it's great. It's great theater. As the kids go, could you rub me harder? And they're like, 12 years old.
Sounds like a pedo
Poor woman's
pleasure.
rubbing their feet. I mean, everything about it is tragic and horrible. And
So,
Hey,
when
hey,
you
Ro-
think
hey.
about him saying something like that, it's like kids, as in apostrophe S, like multiples.
Yes.
Hey, Mo, did you hear that? While he was telling that story, I could hear John Hines jacking off in the next
I
room.
know he's literally getting off on kids' feet. Dan Schneider, feet fetish, kitty foot fetish. That's what that comes off as.
I thought that happens at Chimneyville. It's like they have Consuelo has to massage Beth's feet.
We love smudgy.
He's Beth, I
smudgy.
got to cut his feet.
Sí.
Gotta go.
But-
Dame tu
by the way,
piel, te
David
quiero
reminds
dar
me of a
masaje.
great clip I gotta get. Do you guys remember when Howard locked himself in the limo while Allison and the kids were being swarmed by paparazzi on what was it? What's the concert island in the city, Monique? Where was it Randall's
Roosevelt
Island?
Island?
Something
Randall's
like that.
Island?
Yeah.
Randall's
They went
Island,
to
yeah.
some picnic might have been the K-Rock dysfunctional thing.
Dysfunctional
And
family
he
picnic.
claims that paparazzi were after him, and he runs in the limo and leaves his family out and hides and locks the door. I love that. Ugh.
Curiously, was it last week or 2 weeks ago when we were playing the clip of Howard getting into the limo after having dinner somewhere in L.A.? Oh, no. It was the wedding where, Beth is outside drunk and
Yes.
waving at everybody,
Yes,
and he
he's-
just
Gurgle,
goes
gurgle.
right into the limo, doesn't hold the door for her or
Yes.
anything. Just leaves her there and just gets the hell out of there. Yeah, that's rude
It's
men
all
do
sorts
that.
of shit. Like they had the Bianca thing in the pool when Beth had to go in and save. He wouldn't take his. He was worried about his hair plugs.
Yeah,
He probably had
exactly.
it just put in. He probably just had him put in.
Oh, Bon Jovial, just so you know, is keen for you to get that clip. Just so you know.
Keen.
Keen. I love Keen. You know what? I hate that he uses it because he's
Patsy
got
Weber?
me using it now, and I hate him for it. He
It's a
sucks.
Jenny Piccolo word from Happy Days.
Jenny Piccolo. Nice.
Okay, so let's talk about. So then he goes into the trip in Mexico with the Kimmels, and never really mentions the other people that were at that by name.
Yes.
But here's how he feels he should be treated whilst in Mexico.
Isn't it like 10 years
No, I
already?
remember. I enjoy.
Everything is like 10 years
10
ago.
years ago, yeah,
nothing,
yeah.
nothing has happened in his life
I know, it's so good.
in the
It's so
last like
good.
7 to 9 years. Like
That's
seriously,
so true.
nothing.
He
He
hasn't
has
left the house
done
in 10
nothing
years.
of note.
That's
nothing.
that's such a good line.
It's so fucking true, though. It's like
I know.
horrible.
You're right.
Think
You're
of
so
that.
right.
For this decade, he's done nothing.
Nothing.
No
This
new life
decade.
experiences. This is the $4,000 a minute radio host. He's got nothing to talk about.
This is why his entire show is just padding.
Yep.
2
That's
years
what it
into a
is.
decade.
All right, here we go. Listen to this.
I remember. I really enjoy going to a hotel. I remember one year, Jimmy Kimmel and Molly invited me to Mexico, and they were
It's
staying
like
at a
it's
house
Kimmel's
with a bunch of very,
memories.
very famous, cool people. And then Jimmy said, "You want to stay in the house with us?" I go, "Absolutely not. I want to stay at a hotel. I don't want to be. First of all, I don't want to be beholden to anybody. I do not want to stay in a house." And
The silence
You know.
deafening.
I also didn't like the setup. I didn't have the best room in the house. I was
Oh
like,
my
"Wait a second,
You weren't the king.
no." And I was like, "This is bullshit.
This
I
is
don't
all
see
lies.
myself like this."
I don't. I actually don't believe.
Hang on.
This is all
No, like
bullshit.
I was like, my room's really kind of shitty, and there's a really nice room, and I don't have it. Not my idea of fun.
Oh
Yeah,
my God! Did
okay.
you have to share a bathroom?
No, but it was practically that. It was horrible. It was like one night, because you know what it is. Most people just go and they use the one nice room. They don't have
Right.
17 other people in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was like, no, thank you. You know, give me the master suite or I'm out.
Yeah, that's his attitude.
Wow.
What Steve Z
That's
said
such
is
bullshit.
spot on there. By the way, this is a humble brag. Look who I went with. Oh, I can't stay with you either. 3 hours of prep in the morning. Not only that, but it's like, we always think
3 hours of prep in the morning for my
Yep.
wig. That's brilliant.
That's exactly right.
Oh my
That's
God, I love that. That's
Yeah, it's
exactly
perfect.
right.
It's
That's why you can't stay with people.
you know,
No,
after
no. that's
after
the
they
bald
left,
head.
who do you think said thank God that fucking cunt is gone first, Molly or
Well, how about
Jennifer?
Kimmel foisting him on all these people, too?
Yeah, exactly. How about Kimmel foisting him on them?
Oh my God! I'm surprised these people talk to Kimmel anymore. Seriously, I mean,
Adam Carolla said that Kimmel's primary motivation in show business is just to be friends with Howard and Letterman. However he does it. Like it's
Really?
his, yeah, his
But,
entire
I mean,
existence is based on
There's
that.
no way to Aniston and whoever she's with at this
It was
point.
Molly.
That was Justin Theroux at that
Theroux.
point.
Oh,
Molly,
Theroux.
Molly Kimmel and Jennifer Aniston, right?
So there's no way that after that last trip to the mountains that they're talking to Jimmy Kimmel anymore.
the
There's
snake
no
boots.
freaking way with the
Zero.
snake boots.
But
Yeah.
you know
No
what
way.
though? I don't buy a lot of that too. And another angle is this: we always say that Hollywood is high school with money. I think that those two are so on their best behavior around that A list that they're
Yes,
wanting to get.
agreed.
And I don't
Yeah.
think they're putting up any fuss at all. I think it's like that kid, that
Agreed.
nerd in high school who wants to hang out with the jocks and will do anything to hang out.
And you
with
know
them
how
and
much
go
he
home.
despises
Yep.
having dinner at 8 o'clock and despises sitting around
Yep.
a table
And he
and
goes- he goes
actually
along
having
with it.
fun till like 11 o'clock. You know
This
what I
is
mean?
the only time he's compliant.
And this is like down in Cabo where like shit doesn't pop off until like 1 a.m.
That's right.
Right?
Oh, I remember being jealous of Xavier one time, Monique. He was on Stern Fan Network telling a story about him in Cabo passing out with like 15 Coronas. I don't know, some shoot you were on.
Yeah.
And I was like, God
I'm very
damn it,
familiar
that
with
is the
Cabo.
greatest story. And I remember being jealous just in the moment of whatever I was going through, some depression or something. I was legit jealous. I'm going, oh my God, damn it, I need that.
yeah,
That Xavier's got the
be
life.
very jealous of him.
if you want to forget your life, go down to Cabo, go to Squid Row, then go to Pink Kitties, and you're good.
This kid, the bipolar.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Seriously, you show up.
Oh, Squid Row. That's a real
Squid
place?
Row.
Oh
Yeah, it's
my
a
God,
real
that's a
place.
great
Look it up.
name.
Look it up.
That's a
Look it up.
great name. That's so funny.
You show up and they just shove alcohol in your hand, and everybody dances until you can't dance anymore. And and all the tables there are specifically set up so you can dance on them.
That name is so funny.
I don't see you doing that.
If you walk in and take about 20 steps, go to the right, look at the wall, and there's a little locker that says Jimmy on it. So don't ask me how I know that.
All right, these are weird. We're going down some weird
We've
Mexican
gone, yeah,
rabbit
yeah,
hole.
taking a weird off ramp.
They're donkey holes.
The donkey hole.
Oh.
I'm not really sure I want to be there
Hey-yo.
with you guys.
Hey, your donkey, it looks so nice.
Anybody want to hear a phone call?
Sure.
Not particularly.
Not from
but
them, but
sure.
go ahead.
Let's go to Jay. Jay in Pennsylvania.
Oh, this
What's
kind,
up?
yeah, I want to hear it.
Hey now, Howard. Good morning, my brother.
Hey now.
All right. What's up?
Hey, listen, man. I've been waiting since last week. You know, we got on all those best song covers. I need some Bigfoot in my life, man. I mean, he is definitely top 5 whack pack. I mean, fuck the high pitch Eric update. I got to hear some Bigfoot, brother. He is the best.
Said no one ever.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he read off the cue card real well. I mean, he
100%.
really did. He read that very well. Wow.
Said no one ever. Like, seriously.
Why
who
would you even
cares?
you're calling the screener and you're telling him,
There's no
I want to
screener.
tell Howard. No, I'm saying, but this is what we're supposed to believe.
Yeah.
He's telling him, I'm going to tell Howard I don't want any high pitch and I want Bigfoot on the show. Yeah, I'll go right on. Yeah, well, that's...
No, do me a favor.
Great
Instead
call.
of talking about high pitch, tell me you want Bigfoot.
Yes, it's probably got that exact directive, but it's...
You know,
it's
we
a-
should call
it's a
more
staffer.
often. I don't know why we don't call
You
more
can't.
often so
I've
that
tried.
we could.
It's
can't
not
get
that
through.
easy. It's not that. My number's banned first of all, so I get hung up on. They have like a list. They have like a list where you get put on this thing and this thing goes off. But I just got Gary Puppet as a way that you
Thank
can
you, Darren.
change it or something.
Thank you, Darren, who just says
Woo,
F Robin.
Making it right. I'm gonna get some bitches and hoes with that money.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna go to what's his face's locker down at Squid Row. And
Damn right, Jimmy's locker at Squid Row.
okay, all right. Let's see. Oh, let's talk. I don't know. You know, this is the name of the show tonight. The virus that is humanity.
Oh my God, this is ridiculous. Yes.
It was kind of like ridiculous, and
It was ridiculous.
there's a couple of like various and sundry clips that kind of
Sundry.
that
Yes,
go
sundry.
around this clip. But let's go with this one first, and we'll swing around.
I don't know. I never can get a really, truly comfortable mask. And, you know, I'm a big believer in masks. Masks work. It keeps you apart from the virus that is humanity.
This is okay. So what he's talking about here, which I thought was kind of really weird, he was talking about how he had to wear a mask all day Saturday. And again, I'm still very fuzzy on what's going on because we see that he's in Florida. We actually just checked the videotape before we came on air to see where he was broadcasting from.
Sure
and it is
did.
surely Florida. So when he says what he says here, it just sounds kind of weird to me, and I don't understand where it's coming from. So let's listen.
When people complain about masks, oh my God. You know, I got this whole situation going on with my mom and everything. I had to wear a mask like all day Saturday.
Ooh.
And, oh my God. I
Was
thought
that
I had
tough?
broken. Well, yeah, I thought I broke my ear.
Broke my
Like,
ear.
because, like, you know, the string comes
The
around.
string that goes behind, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It kept folding my ear down, and I thought I broke the cartilage in my ear.
Could you really wear a mask that tight?
Tight. No,
That
I
you
think
would-
he's that. I think he's that
Yeah.
feeble that it would
just
break
by
his
the laws
arm.
of physics,
Well,
the
I
mask
mean-
would just fling off.
If you're,
Yes.
if you're a feeble,
Exactly.
feeble,
I mean, come on.
if you're a feeble
fuck is he wearing?
hypochondriac, I mean,
He's got a
you know,
catcher's mask on. What the hell?
absolute feeble hypochondriac.
Thank you,
I mean,
Shane.
What is wrong with him? Thank you, Shane, so much. Thank you. We really
Well,
appreciate
the other thing,
that.
he's he loves covering. If it covers the nose and it covers the chin and the fake teeth and stuff, in a way, he loves covering up.
Oh my God, he
Even the
loves that.
studio angle with the Streisand. What's
Yes.
Streisand's thing with the right side that she can't
Yes.
be shot on the left?
Oh,
or
that's right,
something?
the good
He's
side.
worse than she is. He's way
Yes,
worse than she is.
He's much worse
He's more of
than
a
she
bitch
is.
than she is, so that's why.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
think about
absolutely.
the tensile strength that would be required to go around that nose of his for the mask. I mean, if that thing
He actually needs to
rips,
wear a
it's
plague
gonna
mask.
it's gonna take someone's eye out.
So Jeremy
That's
House.
after 3 nose jobs, too.
Exactly. If masks are so effective, get your ass back in the fucking studio. Yes, you're 1,000% right.
Vintage
And
Harrelson.
a bunch of the
shit.
rest of the clips I have kind of lead back to talking about that. But there's a couple of different. I'm a little bit all over the place.
So was the show today.
That's what he
Yeah,
is.
that's right. Exactly.
How are
And
you
so
going to be structured if he's not?
I have no structure.
There was
I have
no
structure.
search today on the show. There was
I'm just
none.
gonna throw.
None
I'm just gonna throw
whatsoever.
this out there, just because he has no idea who this person is, nor does he know what the video is.
I want
Here
to
we
give
go.
a shout out to Lil Got It. Lil Got It, the rap
Oh, this is
star.
great.
I was watching his video. Somebody sent me a music video, and a whole video. He's reading Rolling Stone with me on the cover, and
Oh, wow.
I believe it's a secret message to me. Lil Got It.
He couldn't even say the word Lil.
Lil got it.
Little got it. I thought his name was Little Gotti. To be honest with you.
I think it is Little Gotti,
It
but
is.
for him it's Little Got It.
Is it really?
It's embarrassing.
Okay, so random, right? So
do-
random.
Quick question, Mo. Do you think when Howard looks at a rapper on YouTube, he instinctually takes his watch off and hides it?
Yes, I think he does. I don't think he wears a watch anymore because he doesn't know
On
how to
his
tell
wallet?
time. he
And then
hides his
he
watch.
instinctually puts Beth in front of him to protect him.
Exactly. And says,
No,
"Here,
there is
spit
a
on
little.
her."
There is a little got it, as opposed to a little
Yeah.
got e.
Well, anyway.
Oh,
it's just-
see? Okay, I didn't know this.
And this is just he
Well-
looks just like the type of person that
Hey guys,
Howard
is it?
would just have
Do
on
you
the show.
do you think that this is part of the create fake accounts to praise him?
I don't think I don't know if
I don't know anything about this guy, but I'm just saying
I'm
it sounds a
looking
lot
at
like
the-
that.
Why is he on Howard's radar?
exactly.
Number one?
Shouldn't be.
So weird.
It's just I don't believe
100%.
anything that gets on his. Everything's given to him by somebody.
100%. This is
Lisa, I
probably
agree
a fake
with you.
account.
Do you think he was masking so if he sees parents in a few weeks, he'll be okay? I guess he was out somewhere during the weekend. Yeah, I'm a
No,
little
it's
confused
ridiculous.
about what was going on because I don't understand where he was or why he was. Oh my God! Thank you, Chaka
Or it
Khan.
could just be him
Khan.
just making up a lie. I mean, honestly, it could just be a lie. I mean, you can't ever
Could
assume
be,
that he says something
but it's
true.
such a stupid
You're so
comment
right,
to me.
Dan.
Right.
But it doesn't
Right.
matter. He's made stupider comments. He's lied about
Yeah.
stupider things.
Well, if it's true, you're not going to get any more detail, and if it's a lie, it's too much effort for him to add to it. So it's
this point-
you lose either way.
It's 50-50 at best that he's telling the truth. About
W,
anything.
Get John Blitz job contest you should send that to Shuli, David. He'll think you're kissing his ass.
Okay, let's hear about Putin and his mother hunger because this was kind of ridiculous as well. And this is, by the way, the only thing we can mention about the Ukraine-Russia conflict because he's just so stupid when it comes to this. Here we go.
Oh, he's an imbecile.
Yeah. Hang on.
This hunger goes back, again, I'm going to speak like a psychiatrist.
Yeah, okay.
It goes
Yeah,
back
sure.
to not being loved as a child. He is a little boy who says, everything in this world is for me, and I'm going to gobble it all up for myself. That's all that's going on
Wow.
here. That's
That's all.
what's happening. We have a guy who feels like he's never full. He wants more
Wow.
and more. If he had a brother, he'd say to his brother, I want to kill you because I want mommy's love.
That's
There's
what
so
you said.
little
You and
to
Ellie.
go around. I
The
want
bill-
That was his
mommy's
takeaway?
love.
Putin's brother
Wow.
stayed at the Belmore Library during Hurricane Sandy.
That's what he did.
During the Cold War, his brother stayed.
That was
The Cold War. Ah, that's so good.
Oh my.
My fantasy is to see Putin karaoke "Easy Lover" and he plays Phil Collins with Philip Bailey. No, with Beanie Mac. With Beanie Mac. Beanie Mac plays Philip Bailey.
I honestly
point,
think
I'm
that
starting
Putin
to
has
really
had so
wonder-
much Botox that I think it has destroyed his brain. Seriously. Thank you,
Damage.
Hoodie-licious. Make it rain, make it rain, Hoodie-licious, make it rain.
Table dance.
X, because as we said like a lot during this is just a different version of he's got nothing new life experience.
life
perspective
He got
of
nothing
life.
else, and so this is the only thing he knows how to do.
So-
it's the only thing he's ever known how to do
What
is
this really
shit
is-
on his
Mom?
parents unnecessarily. Yeah.
The
What
Cold
this is all
War.
coming back to is this
The Cold-
20-something years of really bad psychotherapies and horrible psychotherapy that's actually making him worse. Because
Yes.
now he is looking for things to make a struggle that never happens.
The
so now
struggle
he
is
has to-
real, Dennis.
in his brain.
Let's
Um,
let's never lose sight of the fact his parents were fantastic to their Jewish prince, and that's okay.
Yes.
They were
Oh, we know that.
fantastic. I know, but
We
it's
know,
just this.
we
It's
know,
so
we
insane.
know.
You can't emphasize it enough. I don't feel abused, but his parents
They
were
did.
better to him than mine
Yeah.
were to me, and that's a fact. This encapsulates it all because Shaka Khan writes it here. He really thinks he's deep. He really thinks just saying this stuff makes him this deep spiritual guy and psychological. And my therapist, if they bring up the therapist enough, I'm really deep and psychological. It really is just the lamest effing way to make yourself sound deep is to bring up the parents. And it's just all he's got.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, here's a little question from Azores. How many friends did you have when you were a kid that said your parents are awesome?
0.
Usually they hate other kids' parents.
Yep.
I will confess that most people thought my parents were awesome because they were awesome. So there's that.
Yeah, there's always the one
My
group
mother
of
was
friends.
also like 11 years younger than my father, so she was like super cool, as you know. She took me out when I was way too young, and that's why they thought that my mom was cool, because she would take us out dancing when nobody else would.
You, Rosie
Lucky
Perez.
you.
Not that that's
all my
right.
friends' dads were alcoholics, and we always had to leave before they got home from work.
All right, here we go. Technical difficulties 1 coming up.
And I should probably give you a cum hat update.
Well, shut up. You're 70
I
years
was
old. Shut
wondering
up.
about the cum
Technical
hat. Where is
difficulties.
it?
Hang on.
What's happening to it?
I know. You need a cum hat update.
Dun, 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 dun.
Tiger Lily's so right down
That
here
worked.
with that last one.
All righty.
Say it again. Come
Before
on.
Bob Odenkirk.
Check this out. This is so funny.
Dead air.
Never mind. Okay, let's just say this.
Wow.
What shall we say?
Highest
We
paid
shall say
person
thank you to
series.
ZipRecruiter.
Lost.
Looking for qualified candidates? Let ZipRecruiter do 100. That's
Fred was on
Thank you,
Craigslist.
Thank you.
Fred was on
Thank you, my
Craigslist.
mistress.
Yeah,
Thank you, my
you're welcome.
mistress.
Till he's
Again,
till
my
he drifted.
mistress.
What, guys? What?
No, this is like in line. Remember Dennis used to say Fred's managing the King Norris MySpace page. Xavier said he's on Craigslist. He's on
Totally.
Craigslist looking at Stratocasters.
Ice cream makers.
I thought he was
He's
helping
writing the
Allison.
next King Norris hit.
I thought he was
Exactly.
helping Allison pack again to move.
Dude, think about that. Think about how bad that is
Yes,
for what
Tiger
the money
Lily.
they put into it.
There's something about his slipping dentures talking about cum that makes it so much worse. He's someone's he's someone's poppy. It's so
Yes.
true.
He is.
Yeah.
Well, you know, but somebody's got to pay the
King of
bills
all
for those
comedy.
kids. Somebody's
all
got to pay.
media.
You know what? If your daddy's paying all your bills in all your homes for all your schooling, all your work, all of your apartments, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, my dad says come a lot. What am I gonna say?
Imagine having that conversation. Yep.
All right, let's talk about Ben a little bit because he made 2 comments about Ben today. They're both new to me, so let's hear both of them. Let's start with the first one.
My father gave me some good advice. I mean, yes, my father mostly crippled me emotionally and mentally.
By the
Right,
way,
the
the
advice.
dead air today was shocking.
Yeah,
like,
I
there
know.
was so much of
You
it.
can tell it just off your clips.
Well, and as I was doing the clips, I'm like, God, I wonder if I should cut the dead air out
No,
of
no.
them.
No, don't. We like
But it's not worth it because, and then
Nope.
you think I'm pausing it, but I'm
Yep.
not, and it's just so much of it.
Don't ever do that. Expose
Yeah, no, I
the dead
know.
air.
I know. Okay, here we go.
And made me feel like a maggot. But
A maggot.
He
Wait,
did
can we
give
just
me-
go back a second? Because he's
I
such a
mean,
dick.
yes, my father mostly crippled me emotionally
Go ahead,
and
write
mentally
write his memories, Benji.
and made me feel like a maggot. But
But
he did give me good advice when it came to radio. He said to me, never take yourself off the air. Because I got offered a job as a program director, which I took because I needed money. But he said, I don't care what they tell you, you stay on the air. I don't know how my father knew that, but he knew it.
Yeah, it was like, why did he not have an explanation?
He
and
did.
It's because what was
He
the
said-
because?
Because to be the program director, you must try to predict
Wow, this is bad.
what people like with music. Millions
Count-
of people, what they will like. It's impossible.
Count Wigula.
And he's
yeah, and when did that voice become
Yeah.
like his voice? You know, I was
Yep.
trying to find like a good clip of Ben Stern. Let me see if I can find something really quickly
Ben
for
Stern
us.
did not talk like Dracula.
Ben
If-
Stern.
I mean, Jesus.
If you're never supposed to get off the air, then why do you only work 80 days a year?
Yeah, I mean, don't ever get off the air.
Exactly.
Why is the first thing you did when you got to Sirius just
And
take
he's about
Friday
to
off
take a
and lie about
shitload
it?
of time off on
That's
top
right.
of it. But that he's
Ben
emotionally crippled, guys. Give him a break.
Emotionally crippled.
He he spent a lot of time in that pink aisle at Toys R Us.
Ben Stern. You know, the
think I've
sad
been to
thing
that
is
one.
there's like some fucking TED Talks guy named Ben Stern. And so...
Oh no.
How dare there be another name?
Yes.
All right, let's see if maybe I can maybe I can go to this one. Hang on a second. Let me share.
Emily DeSalle Leslie. Is that a real name?
Well, it'd
or
be
is it
like
a
the tapes, like from when he was childhood. That was Ben, and I think they interviewed him too during one of the birthday.
Hang on, I'm just going to
The only
something
other
while you
Ben
guys
was
are
that
talking,
was
so-
that bear that worked with Clint Howard in the '60s.
Oh, wow.
Hang on a second, I'm getting there.
Oh, we have dead air.
Clint Howard and Barbara Streisand are the only people to like Johnny Depp's Instagram posts that are celebrities.
Oh, really?
Yes, because they're boycotted because they're not allowed to be because of the Amber Heard stuff.
Dude, you gotta admire Clint Howard to have a career for like what he did with having that face. Like
I know. It was
he was always
Ron,
like-
Ron throws him as many bones as he
Yeah.
can. He puts him in every Ron Howard movie, and
Yeah, but it always worked. And then like he did all the Sandler stuff.
yes.
You can do it. Oh no, that was the other guy. That was Schneider.
Rob
whatever.
Schneider.
Or Schneider.
What
yeah.
did he ever use Clint Howard?
Yes, he
Schneider?
did.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think he did
Yeah.
too.
No, he's
He's in
a
every
shit
Ron
ton.
Howard movie. I know.
Yeah.
All right, let's listen to a little bit of Howard's father as a youngin.
Made a plane and aim it toward
Didn't
the White
he
House.
have any idea
What?
that this was supposed to be fun for you guys?
No. Oh, wait. You'll see. Wait. The tension builds. And Ellen's no better than I am, but he never picks on her because she's a girl.
Roosevelt football team is just wonderful, and I think when people go, they really get thrills out of it, seeing their own game being played, and they won 4 games, as I recall. And
She's got marbles in her mouth, but he didn't say anything to her.
She's not making any
She can't even get, she can't even get the grammar. No one makes sense in front of my father. When you're a little kid, you're shaking.
She's nervous.
Yeah.
too.
Oh, yeah.
I think the people are
You
just...
don't understand. We got a big lecture before you.
Thank you very much. One other question.
Now, you see, she passed. She just passed. Now watch.
Back to you.
Now back to Howard, and I'm like shaking him. Don't pick on me. Don't call on me.
I need someone
And he
to
never
punish.
thanked you for your first
No.
response.
He never
Shut up,
thanks me
Robin.
because I'm a boy. My father. This is how you raise a son. Daughter is different.
Do you feel that the United States should remain in the United Nations as a member of the United Nations?
Now remind
Howard?
us of how old you are.
5.
And he's asking you about
Right.
the United States.
Okay, so that's basically Howard's father's
Yeah,
voice.
he does not sound like Dracula.
He does not
It's not even
sound like
close.
Dracula.
It's not even. That's why they needed a Billy West all those years.
Yes, that's
That's why
exactly
you couldn't
right.
keep Billy West because Howard's got all the impressions.
That's exactly right. So now here's another clip about Ben, and I thought it was really kind of interesting because now we just talked about how his father treated him like a maggot, never paid any attention to him, right? So this was, I think, a little interesting
Mr. Judy
a
Tenuta.
tidbit about
The maggot
his
and the
dad.
shit show.
Here we go. Listen.
It brought me back to when I was a boy growing up. My dad had a recording studio, and he had 4 partners.
So Howard's dad was one of 5 people who ran the recording studio. It's not like his dad owned it by himself, right? So he had 5 people that ran it. So here we go.
But they might have been partners.
Yeah.
The partners were musicians and things, and my dad was just a working guy. And they'd say to him, "Hey, man, let's order dinner. We'll stay here tonight. And we'll do a late night session." And my father turned to him and said, "I am willing to give you a day's work. I own this business with you. I will come in at 7 in the morning. I will work till 5 o'clock at night. But I need to go home and be with my family, and I need to get some rest. I don't want to be here all night. I won't be able to function, and I can't do it." And he put his foot down. He drew a line in the sand.
So here's his dad who basically worked till 5 o'clock
Yeah.
Right.
every day,
And your
never
son
gave
won't
extra.
and your son won't cut the lawn for you when you come home.
Exactly. Never gave extra. Never gave, and you know, it actually stands to reason for Howard's work ethic. It's like,
Yeah,
no,
I
I work till 10 and 10 it is. Or I work till 11 and 11 it is, and that's it.
That's right.
And then I'm done. And that's where he gets it from. But here's his dad leaving work at 5. It can't take that long to get back to Rockville Placenta,
Yeah,
right? It's like
exactly.
a
It's not far at all.
40 minutes on the train. And so yeah, your dad's home from like, 6 till 10 or 11 or whenever it is you go to
Yeah.
sleep. And I can hardly imagine that the man avoided you or
No.
didn't talk to you for the next 5
Not a
hours.
chance. Not a chance.
Well,
And so what? You didn't see him in the morning. Big deal. Nobody
I know.
sees their parents
Who
in the
does
morning.
see their? I've never.
Exactly.
Whoever
Never.
sees your father in the morning?
Never. My dad was always out the door
So do
before
you
I was
think
awake.
that Ben had a heart out every time he left? You think there was situations where like Don Adams was talking into the little mic, and he's like, "Where did the other guy go?" You know, just like you realize he's just talking and nobody's behind the.
Missed it by that much, Ben.
Exactly. But I just thought that was curious that he would talk about that as being such an edict that his father put his foot down on.
But by the way, the show that he and Ellen did is actually better than the current radio show. Better repartee.
Absolutely.
It's actually more hard hitting.
It's so funny how hard their accents were. Their Long Island accents were crazy.
Yeah.
Oof.
Jesus.
They were well more pronounced back then, and then like these days, my nephew's friends, none of them have Long Island accents. It's just a thing of the past.
That's like a really curious thing.
Yeah, they don't. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, we all of my friends had Long Island accents in high school, and we got rid of them in college age kind of thing. But all my nephew's friends now, none of them have Long Island accents.
You know why? It's because there's more media to listen to, so
yes,
you hear
Dennis.
other people speaking. So
that's true. You lived in a little bit of a bubble when you were a kid.
Correct.
Yep.
And you knew nothing other than your neighborhood, so you didn't really get out that much. Yeah, I could totally see that happening.
Do you think that Howard's dad would avoid him coming home because he was always afraid he would catch Howard and his buddy playing penis butt?
No, I don't think so. I don't think that was the case. I just wanted to add this one.
I love
in,
that
and
delivery. It actually sounded like Wood Yee.
He kind of did.
A San Diego Wood Yee. I love that delivery.
This really pissed me off. I don't remember when this happened, but they were talking about the Red Hot Chili Peppers today, and they decided to play a piece from Gary's book about a perk he received about the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And I don't remember this happening. I don't remember them mentioning this ever on air. But I just thought it was kind of interesting. Here we go.
Yeah.
This is my list of the most amazing things that I've got to do that I thought I would never do because I was involved with the show. So, number one, seeing the Red Hot Chili Peppers play on the North Pole. Got invited to one of those gigs where they did it was for Molson's. My wife and I went. We were on a Russian ice cutter and going by icebergs and everything, and then we went and saw the Red Hot Chili Peppers with 150 people. It was great.
Why
There
did
he
Gary
is.
get to do that?
I don't know.
Because you didn't want to go, Robin.
I'm sure
You
that
probably got
Gary.
open first.
I'm sure you didn't want to be on a boat to Alaska.
Can you imagine getting that fucking perk? Can you imagine?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, and wasted on that subhuman freaking Gary. I mean, seriously.
Was it Benjamin used to say on here how Gary is obsessed. He can't be entertained enough in his life. It's just every concert, every game.
Exactly.
There's no concert he won't go to. There's no game he won't go to.
There's no
nothing
free
he won't do.
T-shirt he won't
yes,
wear.
There's no yes.
There's nothing from the glom box.
We got to send him a Sturkshire T-shirt when he.
Oh my God,
Gary! If you had a Hall of Fame for gravy trainers, he would be first inductee.
Absolutely.
He would go into like freaking Vince Lombardi. He is the biggest gravy trainer in the history of gravy trainers.
What about his buddy? What about his buddy Zoss Rapin? I mean, they're both.
That's the same thing, Dennis.
Yeah,
exactly right.
They're on the same level.
That only augments it 5 times because they're on the same level. How many times are you going to see Springsteen in Detroit?
How many times are you going to go see a $1,000 ticket Bruce Springsteen on Broadway?
I know.
More than one if you're Gary. Most people's jobs are like, okay, the perk I get is they're not going to press charges. So that's so it's like he's literally just absolutely audacious with his freaking just taking advantage of where he works.
Yes. Okay, so this is a great clip, and I really wanted to play this because, again, revisionist history. I'm not even necessarily sure where this came from. So let's just throw it out there. Here we go.
I've never done cocaine.
I think I tried it once. It didn't do a thing to me. I think that this story was I was in college, but it turned out it was heroin or something.
You think?
Like that.
I don't know the drug. I don't know what it was.
Can we play that again for one quick second? And thank you, Sonic Optics.
Can we slow it down? I mean,
I used to work for SiriusXM, and they told me they were going to make a show that reviews this show. That's funny.
That would be awesome.
Wait,
I believe that.
Can we just listen to this clip again, please? Just real quickly.
Yes.
All right. Again, can we all actually stop the zit? Okay.
I would subscribe then.
Well,
my
there
friend,
you go. You
if
already
that was the
started.
show.
Shh.
I've never done cocaine.
I
never done
I
it.
tried it once. It didn't do a thing to me. I think that this story was I was in college, but it turned out it was heroin or something. Something stupid like that. Yeah, it was crazy. I didn't know what I was doing.
Well, it must be great, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, did we ever hear the story
Nope.
of Howard doing heroin?
Now, if you accidentally snort heroin and it's not cocaine,
And does
that's
nothing
a
to
very
you.
bad thing.
Very bad
Well,
things happen.
That's very
Dennis,
bad.
Dennis, to be fair, if Howard snorted cocaine, it would get lost on the
It would
way.
get lost
that
in
big
the-
nose.
Lost on the way in that
That big
nose.
nose. It would get lost on the way to the lungs.
Exactly.
Again,
The nostrils would be
we're
filled.
civilians telling that story. Like I said about complaining about a job in 1985. You tell that story to another person in your life, how they'd look at you and go, "You don't remember the year. You don't remember if it's cocaine or heroin. Really, really? Who would believe that story?"
But
if you
did you
told
hear
that to
what he
another
said?
civilian?
The story goes that
Right.
I
Story
did
goes.
cocaine.
Tell
in
it just like
college.
that to a civilian.
The
in your life.
story goes. He said that. The story goes. I did cocaine, but I think it was heroin. Like in the
It's not his
You
story.
don't know the
prior
difference.
conversation.
There's a
The legend
big
goes.
difference.
Big difference between the two.
As the legend goes.
Exactly. Lore has it.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, Jeremy Harrelson has it right. I think Howard watched Pulp Fiction this weekend.
Jeremy, you kid. That's how his brain. That's how his walnut brain, his goldfish brain works on this show. He
Absolutely.
conflates friends of his stories, and he'll take a story from a movie and make it his own. That's exactly how the show works now.
Yeah, there's no way
Exactly.
that man snorted heroin,
There's
and
no.
there's just no way. Period. Let's go to technical difficulties number 2.
Like I wanted nothing
Does
to
he
do with
really
it.
think he can get it up on camera?
Well, that's
Cricket.
Hey guys, where's my my audio for? We're having so many technical difficulties today. I'm straining. Do we have
Well,
that?
apologize to the audience.
I apologize. Why should I apologize? Not my fault. I'm not taking responsibility for this mess. Guys, can you get me the high pitch Eric update?
What a scatological
So-
shit show.
They have.
What is this? What are we
They have
listening
4
to?
days. 4 days
Yep.
off, and nothing works. So they come back on
Millions
Monday.
of dollars to
Hey,
work with.
half the building goes to this shit show. Half the building.
Exactly.
Then my favorite clip of the. Oh wait, first let's get to Jerry Lewis also being a See You Next Tuesday.
Evidently, Jerry Lewis was a real cunt. Did you read that
Oh,
story
I was
over
reading
the
that
weekend?
story. Yeah, that was. Oh my God! There was every woman in Hollywood apparently. Jerry harassed.
Yeah, like Jerry's move was like when Jerry became a movie star, and it just seems to me Jerry, was the buffoon, the clown, the this, the that. So in his personal life, he wanted things his way, as most narcissists want, and he like Vladimir Putin. So Jerry would be on the set, and then he'd hire the hot actress for his co-star, and then he'd have them march in, check out their outfits, and then lock the door, and then kind of start fingering them. I got the impression he was fingering the girls.
Oh, well, he exposed himself.
Yeah, hold on.
you know.
Let me just shut the door, pull out my penis, and start fingering you.
Does Howard forget he already did this bit like 15, 20 years ago?
Who was his writer for the Joan Rivers roast again?
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
This GIF that Cousin Chips made was amazing. So yeah, that's what I wrote. Calling Betty White a C word was the highlight of Howard Stern's day. Nice to be a monster towards a 100-year-old beloved actress. So note he has Howard as the author, Marcy Turk as Betty White, Robin as Estelle Getty, and what's his face as Rue McClanahan.
Is that Fred?
Richard Simmons.
Oh, it's Richard Simmons. Oh, it's Richard Simmons.
We got to give traction to this. We got to get the retweets
I
going.
know.
That's so good.
So
I just
retweet
retweeted
that.
it. I just retweeted it.
Okay, cool.
I did my
Right.
part.
Pick out his
my
little
reach on
weenie or
Twitter.
whatever it was. I don't know whether he had a
jerk off.
monster or
Must have a big one.
a dot.
I think guys who beat off in front of women probably have a pretty big penis. That's my guess.
Why
I
would
know
you think
I
that?
keep mine in my pants at all times.
Yeah.
It's absolutely necessary to take out. But, so Jerry would lock the door, whip out his dick. So there's a lot of bad stories about
demand
Jerry.
sex,
Like
and
who,
if you didn't give him
guys?
sex, he would
Like all your
try to
friends
make
from
you
the
quit.
Like all your
You
friends
had
in the
a
Me Too.
contract to
Like
work
your
on
writer
his
for the
movie,
Joan Rivers
and
roast
he would make it so uncomfortable for you
that you won't bring
that,
up.
you'd want to quit. But one of the women
see
who was
that
telling the
pussy.
story, she never
Do you
quit.
think,
She worked through the whole thing where
You think
he made the
Jerry would go,
entire-
"Hey, ladies!"
How deep did Howard and Louis C.K.'s relationship run towards the end. He wrote for him for Joan Rivers. Right, he was coming over his house and
Yes.
he was punching shit up for him. It's more than we think, and there's
I
no
agree.
way there's some. He's very good friends with Seinfeld.
It's quite funny. We've stated this before, but Howard has really surrounded himself with some scumbags.
Look at the list, Dennis. It's crazy.
We need to do a show on that.
I mean, the scumbags of the Howard Stern universe.
Horsetooth Beth had compiled a list, and it's up to 100 and something names now.
Oh, well,
it's
pass
just
that
one
shit on so we could do a show on
there's
it.
a thread. There's an actual thread on Gunk.
There's some really, really bad people.
And they get added to it every day, Dennis. Jimmy Fallon and Horatio Sands now with the statutory rape conspiring. It's every day there's a new person out.
All right, let me finish the Jerry clip.
Crew and cast not speak to her unless they were acting.
Yeah. Jerry treated women.
Yeah. I was going to say he wouldn't rehearse with her. He would own his stand-in. He wouldn't walk onto the set until it was time to actually act.
Yeah, unless she gave him sex. Jerry treated women like the cum hat, the Kansas City Chiefs hat.
You see how you worked that in there?
Yeah,
worked that right
wow.
in.
But I thought maybe
good line, Richard.
It said the
Great
nutting
callback.
professor.
That's like all
The
the
Nutting
family
Professor.
writing right
Are you listening to this?
Yep.
The Nutting Professor. I know.
The
it.
hits, they just keep coming.
I never
Good
liked
job,
Jerry.
Benji.
I never liked him in his movies. I never liked him anywhere.
Oh my
Here we
God.
go.
Yeah, it didn't surprise me that Jerry was a cunt, but
Get her vocabulary.
but I didn't know he was that bad. But it didn't surprise me. When I read that, I was like, my wife sent me.
And by you have to know that the only clip that Fred has been able to play, because this came right on the heels of Betty White, and all he played was Ronnie saying the C word. That's all he played.
The article, and I was like, yeah, it doesn't surprise me, but how wonderful I was,
That's
which I still have.
telling him what to write.
He liked me on. He didn't. I guess he didn't like me on the radio, but he liked me on America's Got
Listen to
Talent,
this.
Well,
which is
I
almost.
remember.
Which, by the way, is a bigger insult than anything.
Right.
Don't tell me you like me on that shitty
Yeah, because
show.
that was when you weren't being yourself. That's what Jerry liked.
Because I wonder if you're a cunt in real life.
But I remember we were at a Friar's roast.
Yeah.
And Jerry was one of the last people to
He doesn't
perform
remember
at
this.
that particular roast. And
happen.
we were walking out as he was being introduced. And he almost begged you to stay and listen to him. He kept saying,
sure he
Howard,
did.
Howard. He was
Not.
yelling at you across the
Really?
room. Do you remember that?
No. That's something I should
It's
remember.
never happened.
Yeah, he was
absolutely never
yelling,
happened.
Howard, please stay.
All right, so I want to play you this clip because it's really, really interesting. And so it's the only clip I clipped of Bob Odenkirk, basically talking about how amazing it is to actually be able to be outside without a mask on and everything. And I just wondered how Howard bypassed the entire conversation. There was no thought about him saying, yeah, I love it too. Nothing. Just, okay, let's move on. That was it. So here.
But he said to me that you guys were having dinner
We did.
Wednesday night. And so it went down. You did meet with Ben.
Yeah.
Is it weird because of the pandemic? I mean, what's the rules? When you go to dinner, you went to a restaurant with
New
Ben?
York is really loosening up. It's amazing. My wife and I were walking around. We went to a restaurant last night with my daughter, and I can't
right, they are in
believe
New
it,
York.
Howard.
Just like Howard.
The people, the
I heard
energy
this.
in the streets. People are wearing masks
Or not.
often.
Or not.
I wear a mask a lot of times because I want to pull off this book tour and not get COVID before it happens. But it's pretty amazing, man. It feels a lot like we're almost back to before the pandemic. At least it did last night, walking around the streets. And Ben and I met for a meal, and the restaurant, it was great. I mean, you have to show your vaccine proof, and that's it. But
Wow.
it was really great.
Yeah, and that's all Howard said about it was that wow. He still can't imagine that people are going out now because he's really going to ride this wave.
100%.
He's going to die on this hill.
He
of
loves
never
COVID.
going out
We said
again.
it the day it started. He loves COVID. We said it the
loves
day
it.
it started. No,
Anything
it's an
for that.
agoraphobic dream.
Dream come true.
Hypochondriac, agoraphobia, sociopath, because he is a
Yep.
sociopath.
He loves it. He loves it. And the fact that how dare you go out to dinner? Like, how dare you, do something social with people?
Oh my God, my life would scare him to death then.
Steve
Holy
Z's,
shit, right?
Steve Z's right. He's obsessed with every kid's going out to dinner. He wants to. He's so. And Tim Sullivan goes, Howard will be donning a hazmat suit at John George.
I think
Oh my God, completely.
John George.
I think it'll be more like the John Travolta Bubble Boy.
Oh yeah! Oh my God, that's a great reference. To that movie.
They're gonna have Beth in one of those giant hamster balls.
Oh my God, that needs to be a GIF created.
That's. I wonder if that's so good in the Travolta.
So yeah, so that was Bob being thrilled about it. Obviously, Bob's still in New York, so we actually we figured that out. Howard's still in Florida, as we figured out, and yeah, that was the show today.
Odenkirk in one fell swoop overrated in New York, the streets,
Yes.
COVID, Ben Stiller, and restaurants.
Yes, exactly.
All in one swoop.
That's right. So, providing you don't take a train, go up past 75th Street and stay in Midtown Manhattan, everything is just great in New York.
As long as you're in Midtown Manhattan, it's awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah, exactly. And they're not going to be asking for vaccine cards come, I think, next week, March 5th. March 5th, it's over. So there's that. So much for COVID. So you'll have no excuse whatsoever.
He'll still find
It'll be very interesting after the summer break.
Exactly. That's when it's all going to come into play.
Right.
Is like you can see him writing it out until that point,
right.
And then they're going to probably say, "You need to get back into the studio." And there's
you know what though? He may be such a pain in the ass. They may not care because he is a colossal pain in the ass.
You're right,
building.
but I mean,
Dennis, that's my. X, do you really think that the show matters if he's there? Does the live element of him being there mean anything? It's not better. It's not worse. It sucks every way around.
I know. The optics, literally,
it doesn't look good,
everybody is there except for him.
Right.
And like you said, half of the freaking studio is devoted to him.
The whole building. Monique's been there. She'll tell you.
So it's like it's a really weird, and Howard Hughes-ish situation.
And he's the highest paid employee of Sirius.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the highest paid person. Not even the COO or CFO or anybody. He's the highest paid.
I mean, call it semantics. I always do that thing when I call him a silent partner. He's a shot caller. He gets what he wants. It's the same thing. He just gets whatever he wants. As Jackie said on K-Rock, he got whatever he wanted.
I don't think it's too dissimilar to what's going on with Joe Rogan. Spotify is standing behind him 100%.
But Joe Rogan actually brings people to Spotify. Howard brings no one. I mean, no one goes to Sirius for him. There's
Rogan
no one
probably
going
has
to
like
Sirius
100-to-1 ratio to what.
You know what he's really like is an interesting thing. I saw a point somebody made, an NFL point. Aaron Rodgers is actually the highest paid employee. The Green Bay Packers, there is no owner. The whole city owns the Packers. Aaron Rodgers is actually the highest. It's like he's the Aaron Rodgers of Sirius.
Yeah,
true. It's a weird thing.
Huh.
He ain't giving that up for anything.
Did you know that, Monique? The Packers are owned by the Green Bay. There's no actual owner. The whole. That's why they,
and it's religion. Good luck trying to get like a season ticket. It's like generational.
That's right.
It's time now to do our let's check in on Shuli's numbers because I just like doing this. Okay, so let's see. His last video had 438 views,
making it rain.
13 comments, 16 likes. His channel has had a total of 157,000 views, with 3,200 subscribers and 134 videos.
Damn.
The power
that is literally like after MASH numbers.
Makes the Depening look like the Mark Maron podcast.
Exactly. So let's see our last podcast. Let's go to that real quick. We have 2,000 some odd views, 8 comments, 90 likes, 639,000 views for our channel with 2,300 subscribers. And the same amount of videos. He has 135 and 136.
And this is a relaunch of a channel. Our old channel was better.
Oh my God, the old channel had quadruple the amount of people.
Yeah, this is a Twitch. You got to start over again. All right. Thanks to Beth.
So I'm just gonna play a fun little clip that made me chuckle the other day to end the show with.
Couldn't have been Stern Show.
Huh?
Couldn't have been on the Stern Show.
Yeah, and to essentially
cleaning out the computer. rude and you're not grateful. You're how about an ounce of...
Will you fat ass? Get over that.
And I'm not talking about me calling me fat. I'm talking about your lack
of
respect for what this show has done for you.
Listen to me. I am grateful. Howard and you guys are painting me as an ungrateful person. I am not an ungrateful person. Get that damn straight now.
Whoa.
You have to keep...
Intimidating. It's fucking intimidating.
You have to keep just telling him he's ungrateful.
I don't...
Wait.
I'm not ungrateful, Artie.
How long do you think he'll argue?
I'm not.
As long as I keep saying it.
Okay. All right.
Give me one example. One fucking example. And this isn't just me talking. These are fans that I see at shows. Give me one fucking example of where you've been a grateful person. One.
I have said thank you for the stuff that you
This
guys
can go on all day. All right, Eric, look.
That's what you want.
So this is why we can't do an Eric the Midget show. This is why I'm having difficulty doing an
Why?
Eric the Midget show.
You can
Because
just
he
keep doing
takes so long
That's the
to
beauty
get
of
a
it.
sentence out.
That is
The beauty. Okay.
I disagree with one major thing in that. I think Eric has done far more for the show than the show did for Eric.
Absolutely.
We're talking about
Absolutely.
45 minutes a day to kill
Without
Howard's time while he
doubt.
makes $4,000 a minute off.
Don't you feel guilty, Tiger Lily? I can't stand him either. I can't. There's not a single
need to
part
feel
of me.
guilty.
You guys could do the Eric the Midget show. I'm out.
because-
I can't do it.
You know what? It's
him.
because you don't like turkey bodies.
Exactly. That you turned off by his turkey body. That's what it is.
Yeah, see, nobody will listen. I mean, everybody wants the
come
Eric
on.
the Midget show, but
Is the best.
I'd be willing to do it, guys. I don't want to. I'm not playing good cop, bad cop. I'm not like passionate about it, but I would do it.
John's a real man.
I'm not super passionate. I'd rather do a Jason Kaplan show, but
Yeah, I understand that, but how much content was Eric the Midget?
every day,
Tons,
Dennis. 45
every
minutes.
day for a
every day.
while.
Hours
Every day.
every day.
for
He
hours.
spoke more in 1 week than Fred did in 20 years.
Yes,
Exactly.
absolutely.
For 5
absolutely,
years.
absolutely.
I think it was
And
like
he loved
5
Jason
years?
Giambi.
Constantly.
Yep, Eric had more testosterone than the whole show combined. Loved pro wrestling and the Oakland A's and. How many
You know what?
touchdowns did the A's make?
I mean, the poor little guy. He was deformed. He was like a little bit
Wait,
of a
he was?
mutant. Yeah,
I
and
thought he was just sitting down.
I will tell you one thing, Monique, that's fascinating. And my nephew was little. We went over this, and we went over Eric the Midget's wish list on Amazon.
Oh, I remember doing that. I did that
that
too.
was so fun. It was so.
Oh my
He had
God,
like
he wanted
bottles of
everything.
Pepsi and
Yes.
Fun Dip.
We have some new T-shirts. We are pro-Ukraine on our channel, and we have some new T-shirts that we just made, which are up on the TeePublic site now. So if you'd like to take a little look-see at them, they look really, really great. Wap, 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 wap. Okay, so yeah, that's it. That's all. We are done for the night. Thanks for hanging with us tonight. Please join us for any discussion at RadioGunk.com in the forum section. Follow us on Instagram or Twitter at Radio Gunk. And don't forget to like this and subscribe to us and hit that little bell so that you know when we're going to have a new show. Thanks.